Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machinde, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besige every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good evening, Uganda. Welcome to the Hotline Show. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. On this 20th day of January, the year is 2025. I want to first apologize for starting a bit late. It's because of some technical issues here and there. But as the white man says, better late than never. We are here yet again with another insightful episode of the Hotline Show. This week, a lot of things are happening in the country and, of course, across the globe. I'll start with Uganda. Today, the Electoral Commission of Uganda has started off an exercise of checking, for the voters to check their registers or checking the voting registers. Now, you can have an opportunity to go to your polling station or parish where you vote from and be able to just check through your names and your details to confirm either you are eligible to vote in that particular area or not. Now, according to the exercise, the first day of the exercise, the numbers have not been too much. Not many people have come to check their voter registers, but the few that have actually gone to the polling centers have shown that some polling centers, the materials are not yet there. The lists are not there yet. They've been told that you can actually find those lists tomorrow. I don't know if that is, let's say, just poor organization or I don't know. I hope the Electoral Commission can talk about that particular issue. But as we speak today, in all constituencies, you are able to just go and check through your name to see if you are eligible to be a voter come next year as Uganda goes to the polls yet again to vote for their leader. In other news, Dr. Kiza Besige is still remanded in Luzira as we speak today, but the unfortunate bit is news coming in from his lawyers, the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago. Dr. Kiza Besige is on hunger strike. He says he has a mistrust for the food that he's given by the prisons, so he prefers that he consumes the food that has been brought by his members or people. But unfortunately, he has not been allowed to test that food. And according to his lawyer again, Dr. Kiza Besige is in a prison, so he's not allowed to meet other other mates or prisoners and interact. He is, according to Mr. Lukwago, behind a glass, establishment where he can only contact the people who come to visit him on phone. So that is a sad story coming in there. And remember, Winnie Byanyima, the wife of Dr. Besige, told the country or the world that Mr. Museveni or the government wants to kill Dr. Besige. So if these things are happening, and this is some of the things that we heard from the wife itself, how true is this particular issue? We'll also talk about that maybe later. And lastly, definitely not least, is Honorable Segirinya was laid to rest last week, on Sunday, so may his soul rest in peace. A lot of controversy was in the burial. Segirinya, the NUP faction, the family and Parliament, all of them contradicting, and we had two barrios. One was a state barrio headed by the Commission of Parliament, Mpuga, but the other was organized by the National Unity Platform members, and of course it came to a realization that not even the children of Segirinya were able to bury their father. And this has actually brought a lot of sentiment, starting from the cultural implications, the religious implications, and of course the disorganization that was exhibited during those barriers. Is this how politics is going to be run in this country? And of course, what does this speak of the opposition, especially as we enter a political season that we are in as we speak right about now? Now, we shall talk about that and much more. What you can do is just send us a message, a question, or a query. That is Facebook, and on YouTube we are streaming on either platform. Now, allow me to welcome our guests for this evening. I have Mr. Joseph Ochieno from the Uganda People's Congress, and of course Charles Kazooba. He is the Executive Director for the Centers for CAADS, Center for Constitutional Affairs and Diplomatic Studies. So you can be able to look that particular organization up. It is on all social media platforms. I welcome the guests for this evening. I'll start with you, Mr. Ochieno. You're most welcome, and it's always a privilege having you right here on Digital TV.
Yeah, thanks, Edgar. I have forgotten that I hadn't seen you since the year began, but indeed we've been here since the beginning of the year. So, but I think it still feels like early part of the year. But that said, as you do the headlines, I'm really beginning to feel exhausted. I had a very busy end of year. Yes. With personal and political things and activities, including our trip to neighboring Kenya, as you know. Came back and started the first part of the New Year week busy, but you thought you were starting a new year with hope, which you normally should be. But then entered the Besigye saga. Yes. I was in court. I was also at Segirinya's vigil. But the way you introduce these things, they really dampen my feelings. So I really feel dampened that why should somebody like Besigye be subjected to whatever is being done, and by a regime that went to the bush allegedly to restore rule of law. And even in Segirinyas case, I know we're going to be discussing this. What I saw and what is going on is quite distasteful. So it makes me rather an uncomfortable guest this evening, in the sense that, no, the energy that I usually have is not really much there, but the struggle continues. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Charles Kazooba, you're most welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Karuhanga. It's also a pleasure to share a platform with my colleague, Joseph Ochieno.
Thank you.
He should have been head of UPC, but because of our politics, bourgeois politics, he's here. I also appreciate the Digitalk for bearing with us. We are kind of stubborn guests. I just wish it's a high stakes political year, so that our guests can also follow us regularly.
Okay.
Well, my week, I was fortunate to be part of being carefully seeing, watching what is happening. For instance, Honorable Mpuga's group is mooting some amendments which should ordinarily be affecting the process of elections. But it appears to be very late. In fact, when we went out of our meeting, on the way out, we met Mpuga's group also going to meet the commission. I don't know whether the agenda is going to change anything. And this is what the problem is. As opposition, have members of the opposition agreed on the way forward? For instance, do they intend to participate in the 2026 elections?
Yes, the leading opposition.
And if they intend to participate in the 2026 elections, how are they going to do it? These are issues that they should be discussing today.
Because that's where I wanted us to start, and the good thing you've introduced that theme, is with this background that we are seeing, why should Ugandans, galvanize for the elections when all the political players, especially with the dissenting voices, feel like someone is already, having them who has already compromised them? So why should Ugandans really anticipate such an election or electoral process?
On my way to here, I met a friend, a long-time friend. He was a journalist, but he has since switched to judiciary. He now works with the judiciary.